So we have established a mobilisation team. They're working very hard on taking over the franchise on day one. And as part of that team, we will communicate and reach out to the local business community. As part of the railway, clearly priority number one for us is to run a good, efficient railway system. One of the key things is to get promotional items, information about local services, information about local businesses onto the train, and that's something we can really help people with. One of the most positive things I heard today was that the local councils have engaged with the bus companies. The bus companies will act as feeders. We will work with the bus companies to make sure that when the train arrives, the bus is there. That's something we do both in our other UK franchises, but also in Holland. It's a really powerful way of stopping people taking the car, and we'll encourage it and work with people. We then will do dedicated walking and cycling paths, and we'll look at bringing in cycle hire schemes at an affordable rate. That will really, if you wish to cycle, will give you the opportunity to cycle. We have a team of about 40 people working out of Glasgow. They're mobilising the franchise. Borders is absolutely a key part of that. Since we last spoke, we've now fully engaged with both the current operator First Group, Network Rail and Transport Scotland on the Borders railway, the launch. We're working extremely closely with First Group in terms of driver training and getting all of the basics right. And we're in good shape for a really good start to the franchise, but also a really good start to Borders. The way we look at it, there's almost two franchise launch events. One is when we take over the whole franchise on the 1st of April, and the second is when we take over Borders. They're both as important, and they both have dedicated teams working on it.
We have awarded the contract to Morrison's, and you can see from that large banner behind me, the structure has been designed as a steel frame, so that generally goes up quite quickly, and it allows the contractor then to start to fabricate the externals of the building. What the contractor's doing at the moment is he's actually concentrating on the outside of the building to get it as watertight as possible, and then you'll see a lot of the tradesmen in terms of fitting out the inside over the following 6 months. So once we get to about February, there'll be a lot of activity inside the building to try and get it finished off. We're looking to get the building complete by the end of June. Then the council and the bus operators will have a month of a commissioning period, is what we call it, getting it usable, make sure everybody knows how to use it, how to interface with it, and then open to the public at the end of July as the programme stands. At that point, we will mobilise our contractor again to then finish the works adjacent to the Gala Water in terms of demolishing the old bus station, finishing off landscaping works and re-establishing the car parking for the town centre. All of the bus operations in and out have been modelled on a computer effectively. It's very similar in terms of size as the original bus station. The manoeuvres are very similar. We have method statements and risk assessments in place. There's going to be loops in the first three stances to the west of the building, so that when a bus is reversing, the pedestrian crossing and the lights go red, and that's a safety issue in terms of if the bus accidentally backs onto the road, or there's a problem with the bus, which means it can't be stopped, or something happens with the driver, it means that no traffic's on the road that will get impacted and no pedestrians on the pedestrian crossing as well. So that's something we're putting in place for the final solution as a safety aspect. The whole point of this building, or one of the main points, is to create that gateway to the Scottish borders, as I mentioned, and we're trying to create a statement, high quality structure. There is a lot of glazing in the building, that is to create the views through it so people can actually see what's going on in the town centre and attract them in. But we're using high quality materials within the building in terms of windstone and aluminium, and we're trying to make it as robust as possible but aesthetically pleasing as possible. We want this building to be here for the next 50, 60, 100 years in its form, and we need to make sure it stays as looking as good on day one as it is in year 50 effectively. So we are trying to create a statement structure with high quality materials.
In late 1968, a diesel locomotive derailed just north of Hawick station. The breakdown train came from Carlisle's Kingmore depot. Passengers had to use buses to get to their destinations, something which is a regular occurrence these days. Back in the 60s, things were very different as far as track laying and health and safety was concerned. No such thing as high-vis jackets, hard hats and steel-cap boots to protect the workforce. At that time, Hawick Depot had a small crane to look after track maintenance work. And the track came in sections, the crane being used to lower them into place. All very nostalgic, but all very different to the 21st century way of track laying. And we make no apology for showing you some of these terrific images once again.